Hey, welcome back, Hummingbirds, to our fourth session. We are getting into some nitty-gritties now, starting to delve into a lot of different topics, again, feeding off of each other each week. So it's exciting. Really proud of everybody, all their, again, doing hard work already. So we have a lot to cover today. Our ABCs and 1, 2, 3. It's a really fun topic, but again, quite a bit to cover. So I'm going to try not to speak at the speed of light, but again, so that we can really comprehend and really understand what we're trying to accomplish here. But I also want to start off with kind of clarifying why I'm really big about clarifying what our desired outcome for these sessions, what we'd like to accomplish, what we'd like to see come forth, but seeing like the difference between the desired outcome and our goals. So, and I'm going to give a little bit of a training story. There's a big reason why animal professionals train their animals. Ultimately, when you get down to the nitty-gritty, it's to improve animals' welfare. So whether that's a medical behavior where the animals are active participants in their own care and you're reducing the stress on both the animal and the caretakers, or enrichment. So exercise is a great way to keep animals both mentally and physically active. It again improves the welfare, the quality of life of the animal. And even little simple behaviors like having some fun behaviors where waving, or so you might see a sea lion wave, and this seems like a silly behavior. Well, training that behavior with the professional and the animal helps. It improves that bond, which makes the ability to care for the animal easier, and then, as you guessed it, improves welfare. But if you were to, so all of these behaviors, no matter what they are, they improve the animal's welfare. That's the result of them training these different behaviors. But if you were to ask a zookeeper how they train welfare, you would get them. They would become incredibly overwhelmed, because you can't train better welfare for the animals. You can train the behaviors which lead to better welfare. You can create animal habits, so to speak, and the desired outcome, the result of those habits, is better welfare. And so this is the same with our goals. Whether you want to lose weight or improve your fitness level or have more influence on people you interact with, these aren't the goals that we can train for. They're the desired outcomes that we will achieve through small incremental process or by collectively developing habits. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is how do we develop habits. And there's a couple of different ways. And feeding off of what we talked about on Monday, again, starting a journal is a habit. You've already started developing a healthy habit, which improves our lives in many aspects. It helps with our fitness goals, ways to have a better impact on the planet, to even winning friends and influencing people. But it is a habit, and it's something that takes time to develop. But there are easy ways to develop habits, and in the training world, again, it's very easy. We make it as easy as ABC and 1, 2, 3. So again, whether you want to run a marathon, change to a healthier, more sustainable, greener diet, influence those around you to preserve the planet, or develop amazing abs, whatever your goals are, whatever you want to do, the habits you create will follow one simple formula, and that's the ABCs of operant conditioning. And we'll go into operant conditioning next week, but basically it's a way of learning that is influenced by the consequences of our behavior. So the ABCs do stand for something. They mean the aspects of learning as the antecedent, the behavior, and the consequence. Antecedent, behavior, consequence, ABC. Yep. There's a lot of nerdy words in there. So let's break this down a little bit. The best way for me to break this down is from a book that I read a while ago. Highly recommend, if you have an opportunity to either download it or listen to an Audible or borrow it from the library. James Clear, Atomic Habits. James Clear is the author's name. His book is called Atomic Habits. And he says to create a new habit, we need to make it obvious, make it easy, and make it awesome. And that is exactly what the ABCs do. So let's go into this. This is a simple formula for developing a quick or healthy habit. And the A is for antecedent, as I said. An antecedent is a cue or a signal that trainers will give to the animals. It precedes something, so it's an antecedent to something. But some experts do call it the activation step, which I find is very, very accurate too, because the cue doesn't make the animal do something. It's a cue, it's a signal for something, but it's kind of like an activation step. It kind of like turns your switch on. Oh, now's the time to do the thing. So it's kind of like if you think about if you're at a traffic light and the light turns green. The green light doesn't cause your car to go forward. It's the signal. It tells your brain to take the foot off of the brake, put it on the gas pedal, and go forward. So you make the car go, but the green light lets you know now is the time to do the thing. So that's what the antecedent does. But as James Clear says, gotta make it obvious. So you guys go, now the time to do the thing. When is the time? Oh, now, because it's a bright, glaring light or some kind of message to you, reminder, cue to you that is very, very obvious that now's the time to do the thing. So in the healthy habit stance, it could be an alarm on their phone to remind you to get up and exercise. It could be a Post-it note somewhere, maybe on your door or by your bed, to remind you to bring your reusable utensils if you're looking to be more sustainable. Or you can use an established behavior already to help feed into a new habit. When I turn on the water to brush my teeth, I go ahead and fill up a cup and then take my vitamins. So again, using an established behavior to cue a new behavior can work really, really well. Whatever works for you, making it obvious to signal your brain, now is the time to do the thing. And then there's the big question, well, what's the thing? That's the behavior, the B. So if you've ever watched an animal show, you may have missed those subtle cues that the trainers give the animals, but the animals don't miss a beat. They see this little twist of the trainer's finger, and they take off to do their routine or perform a jump. The flick of the finger is their cue to do the thing, and the behavior is that thing that's associated with the signal. So that's the other thing, is that the two are together. So I am doing this habit because this thing is super obvious in my face, telling me to do this healthy habit. So the key component is making it obvious, but also, as James Clear says, making that behavior easy. This is really, really, really important. And again, sometimes you may have seen, like if you've watched some amazing dog shows or even zoo presentations, you'll see some amazing behaviors, very complex. But I promise you, those behaviors started off super easy, super small. So there's a key to starting your behavior, again, making it easy. And we've said it Monday, and we'll probably say it a dozen more times throughout the next few weeks. Make it so easy you cannot fail. Again, I'll repeat that. because when we're developing habits, this is probably the most important aspect. So easy, you cannot fail. So if you're trying to eat more consciously, with sustainable ingredients and less plastic and more vegetables and less sugar, you're going to find that you are going to get very overwhelmed. So when you're starting out, especially if you don't do those things already, you will get overwhelmed. So when you're starting out, start small. I mean ridiculously small. Start with practicing just looking at the label. Because that's probably a habit you haven't practiced very often, and it's not something that you are naturally good at. It's not a habit that's instilled in you. So just practice looking at ingredients, picking up an item, and looking at the ingredients. Whether you buy it or not is irrelevant. Just want you to get into the practice, the habit of reading labels. Once that is super easy and you're finding yourself looking at labels all the time and it's a natural behavior for you, then you can start progressing a little bit forward. And again, looking for ingredients that you want to either put back. So if, again, palm oil, put it back. Or if it has a healthy ingredient that you do want, put it in the basket. So again, working your way up to that behavior. Small steps, super easy. Again, make it obvious. Make it really, really obvious for you to start this behavior and make it easy. In 2016, I started the habit of writing daily. So in the beginning, I made it so easy I couldn't fail. I had a minimum of 250 words. That's it. Slowly over time, I've gradually increased that minimum. But again, I started out so easy, so small that I couldn't fail. And so now I'm up to 600, which still doesn't sound like a lot of words that I'm writing every day, but that compounds to quite a bit. It does create the habit, and that's the important part. Is I'm not caring if you're doing 100 burpees a day. I don't care if you are, eating only salads for lunch and dinner and a protein shake. You're staying under your calories. I care about these habits that are going to be instilled. So I don't care, again, if you're doing 100 burpees, I care that you have dedicated to, I'm going to do a burpee, or I'm going to do burpees at this time, and that you created the habit that you are doing them. So again, that's the important part. It's not a matter of how extreme you're doing it. It's a matter that you are doing it, that you have created these habits. And that's, again, any habit that you can think of, the sky is the limit. You can, if you want, any of these can be, if it improves your life, it's a healthy habit. If you want to read more, if you want to start meditating, if you want to attend morning workout classes or working out after work, whatever your habit, whatever you want to improve, start small, attach some kind of signal, some kind of cue to remind you, and then go for it. And you're going to find you're going to get hooked in no time. But that also depends on one final component, and that is the C, the consequence. Or as James Clear says, make it awesome. So, nerd alert. So for every action, there is a consequence which follows that will either increase the behavior or decrease the likelihood of that behavior occurring again. So since healthy habits are something we want to increase, we want the consequence to be good. We want it to be reinforcing and a positive experience. So we want to make it awesome. You can for right now, you can, again, make it awesome in your own little way, however works for you. If you want to fist pump the sky, pat yourself on the back, give yourself a star. Chris does this every day. He has a masterpiece day. He puts a big star in his journal. And in the next couple of sessions, we're going to start discussing how to really apply some reinforcement to your fitness. But for right now, just again, keep in mind, you want to make it fun, make it awesome, make it affirmative for yourself. And then you come to the other part, which some of you, again, yeah, I want to start drinking water, that's great. But I also, again, I want to drink less soda, and there is no, we'll get into this a little bit later too, there is no, cue for not drinking soda. This is going to establish a kind of get a long-term, what we call in training terms, behavior plan. Wow, what a concept. This is the idea of shaping. Trainers do shape, again, those complex behaviors that you can see during the shows are the result of shaping, breaking behavior into smaller steps, and then teaching those steps through approximations. Again, it's a matter of making it really easy and making it awesome, because if it's not awesome, it's not worth repeating. So again, think about if you've ever been to a show and you saw, let's say, like a dolphin show, and the dolphin went off, to perform its behavior, slid out into the slide out area, did a couple turns on that in the shallow water, and then came back in. And do you think that kind of behavior would have been taught in 1 or 2 sessions? Probably not. It could possibly have taken months and months to learn, and it could have even taken his sibling or poolmate a year or more to learn. So everybody's going to be different, and I'm mentioning this because I don't want you to focus on the length of time it takes for you to complete these habits. Focus on the present, and we'll go more into this. Being a hummingbird, do what you can, love where you are at each given stage. So everybody's plan, everybody's shaping for a healthy habit, even if you have the same one, is going to look different. There is a running joke among animal professionals where they say for every behavior there are as many paths and many ways to train that behavior as there are trainers to teach it. So that's their way. There is no the way. There is your way, and that's the one that works for you. And then there is my way, and then there is Chris's way, and then there is somebody else's way. So even if you have the same exact habit that you want to achieve, how you go about it is going to be unique to everyone. So I'm going to riff on my mom for just a moment. She had an inquiry about talking to acquaintances about conservation, and my initial suggestion was to join Toastmasters, but she didn't think that was very feasible. So that's totally fair. Again, it's something that worked for me when I was not comfortable giving speeches, giving talks. I went to Toastmasters and it worked great for me, but that's not her path. That's not going to work for her. That's fair enough. There are dozens of other ways you can break down this behavior. You can, again, looking at the end in mind, I'm guessing something along the lines of, I want to be confident in influencing others to act in an environmentally conscious fashion. And so that kind of goal takes a lot of courage and does take confidence, something that you are going to need to build up, especially when you may not see eye to eye on somebody. It makes it talking to them even more difficult. So something that may help is to start by practicing talking to someone who does see eye to eye with you, and sharing similar points of view, and looking at their point of view, from their perspective, even though it's something you share, kind of saying, oh yes, I see why you like using reusable utensils. It's very helpful. And then moving on to, again, as you get more comfortable, moving on to more difficult conversations or conversations where you may not see eye to eye on something. So that's, again, a way of slowly progressing and gaining confidence through each step. Again, something we'll talk about even more. But again, help you towards your desired outcome, towards your main goal of being comfortable and confident enough to talk to other people. I seem to have a frog in my throat or something. Again, if you also were thinking of while I like to cut out caffeine or drink less soda, again, depending on your level right now, if you don't drink a lot of water, it may sound very daunting to cut out soda and drink only water. So again, creating your plan is something that works for you. It could be simply lowering the amount of soda slowly and slowly increasing water, or it could be, again, replacing soda with something healthier, maybe not quite water, like flavored water or unsweetened tea, and again, slowly decreasing the soda, increasing healthier drink, and then when you're ready, switching over to water or flavored water again, however you want to step that process. So how you do it is completely up to you. And I also want to remind you that however long it takes is completely irrelevant. This is a journey. Being a hummingbird is a journey. This is not a destination. Along the way, you're going to find that you may skip steps. You may be leaping forward, and in other areas, you may be at a certain step much longer than you anticipated. Again, another topic for another discussion. We'll talk about how to deal with plateaus in a little bit. But if you're feeling stuck, know that if you're stuck on step 5, and this has been really what I want to drive into you too, if you're stuck on step 5, you are 5 whole steps further along on your journey than when you started. And that's in itself cause for celebration. And again, something else we'll talk about, why I focus on positive reinforcement instead of punishment, because I want you to celebrate that 5 steps that you've gone forward. And so wrapping up, I've again gone a little longer than normal but wrapping up, habit building, easy as ABC and 1, 2, 3. I am giving you guys a couple tasks, not the easiest, I understand, so work at it as you can, be that hummingbird, do what you can, but I do want you to narrow down your desired outcome and pick a habit that you want to work on. So then, again, find one thing that you want to work on that will help you reach your desired outcome. And then go about creating a pathway that makes it obvious, makes it easy, and makes it awesome for you to complete. And so you can use the ABCs to create the habit if you want to, again, drink more water, take vitamins, do a set of exercise throughout the day. You can use that ABC method, or if you have something, again, more established routine or something that is going to be progressively getting stronger, such as establishing the habit of going to the gym or cutting out coffee. There you can try the shaping method, the 1, 2, 3 method. So for me, I'm on this journey with you guys. I have miles to go before I sleep too. I'm trying to get a little bit better about getting up out of bed when I wake up. I'll wake up and I'll be fine, and I'll hang out, because I'm hanging out in bed for an hour. I hang out under the covers, but I would love to get up and get my day going, because this is supporting my desired outcome. My ultimate goal is to have a book traditionally published. So getting up and getting my day going means I'll have a more productive day. I'll have more writing done. I'll have more, I'll have had time to contact more libraries, more community centers, and working on more content for my blog, for my hummingbirds. And so all those things will lead up to me getting my book traditionally published. But it starts with me getting out of bed when I want to. So I've started at a super easy, again, just an example of something that's super easy but still is progressing me forward. I can play on my phone if I want after I wake up, but I have to be sitting. I'm no longer laying down in the bed. I'm going to be sitting. That's step 1. I sit up in the bed. Step 2 is I have to turn on the light and I have to read. And again, progressively, meditation, there's again, progressively getting there. Eventually I'm going to get to this point where I can just sit in bed, and that is all I'm allowed to do unless I get up. And then I can then I can get on with the rest of the day. I can, I can get my breakfast ready. I can drink my teas. I can again get a jump start, and I can make this awesome because there are several workout. There's a new center for me that has classes that start at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. So a great opportunity for me to meet people and meet people, fit-minded people, and get my day going with a great workout. And so if I can get out of bed and get going, I can make those classes easy peasy. So this is a great way for me to make it awesome. And again, making it obvious is, again, I wake up and I sit, and then again, making it obvious, I can either just sit here or I can get up and go, which is what I want to do. So there's our task for the day. If you're inclined to share your habits with me or other hummingbirds, please feel free to email me. We also do have a Facebook group. And if you're comfortable, this is what we're going to be mainly discussing on Monday. We will be meeting at 5:30. This time it seems that 5:30 is a kind of a happy period for a lot of people. That would be 8:30 East Coast time. But then we're going to be discussing your pathways and habits at the next meeting. So, and we're also going to try and extend it to a full hour in a roundabout way. So until Monday, fly high, hummingbirds, and remember to do your best, do what you can, shine bright.